So if you want your business to succeed, then stop doing this. Now, before we go into the podcast, I've got a little ask for you. Now, I'm here helping you. Now, I'd like a little favor in return. How about if you give this podcast a subscribe so I can give you some more valuable information? So let's get into it. Number one thing, stop trying to do everything yourself. Maybe you're one of those business owners who has a team. You got a big payroll bill. You got people on your payroll. You got 10 different staff. And yet what you find yourself doing is doing everything yourself. Not maybe everything, but you seem to be getting involved in all the different areas of your business. You've employed someone to do it. Let them freaking get on with it. Why are you getting involved? I'm not saying you don't oversee what they're doing, but don't be like a control freak. Micromanagement. It's a big problem that a lot of people have where they can't delegate. And then what they find themselves doing is they end up working longer and longer hours because they've dug themselves a hole. What takes up most of your time? Is it just checking everybody else's work? Think about it. Who's that number one person in your business right now that if you fired, it wouldn't make zero impact on your revenue? You probably all got one, right? Think about it. Now, the other question is, why are you holding on to that person? Why do you hold on to people that are not serving you well? Do you monitor performance of people? I hear this lots of times from lots of my clients. You know, I've got this one person, and it's always the one client. It's always talking about this one person. I've got this one person. They don't do X, Y, and Z, and they're always doing X, Y, and Z. They're always arguing. They're always like causing friction between other people. Like, what are they doing there then? They've been with me a long time. Just because someone's been there with you a long time doesn't mean that they should stay. You've got to earn your keep. Every single member of your staff has got to earn their keep. How much value are they actually giving to your business? Are they making your life easier? Otherwise, what's the point? Your main tasks, what are your main objectives as the owner of the business? What is it? Think about it. Mindy, I would rather work on the business. I just find myself working in the business. That's because you haven't delegated enough. Maybe some of those team members needed a bit more training. Maybe when you onboarded that person, you didn't set the expectations up for what you wanted that person to do. So there's a massive disconnect between what you hired them for and what they're actually doing, the role. So maybe it's how you onboarded that person. Maybe when you first brought that person in, you just let that person run with it. You didn't train that person up. You didn't spend enough time nurturing, growing that person. Think about that. Could that be a big problem that you've had? A lot of people don't do this. They just expect someone to come in and do the role. Everybody that comes into our business, they are an expert in what they do. They have something. They have a skill set. And I still want to make sure that skill set is still relevant. You got to still prove yourself. Just because it says you do X, Y, and Z on your CV doesn't mean I'm going to trust you, right? You still want to oversee different types of people. We're doing that right now in our organization every single day. I want to know what everybody's doing. Are we making an impact? Right. Social media, is that working? Is video working? Is creative working? Is marketing working? Is our emails working? You hire someone to do your email sequences or whatever. Are they working? Give me some metrics. Give me some evidence of what you're doing is actually working. How much money are you burning down? How much money are you burning away? Top talent is super important. Who's the most talented person in your business right now? Would you be pissed off if they went? If they got poached by somebody else? If they got headhunted, would you be angry? Or would that person be replaced very easily? You got to become irreplaceable in the marketplace, right? Every person in your business, I tell this to all of my team, you need to get so irreplaceable in my team. You need to get so good at what you freaking do that I can't lose you. It'll cost me too much to lose you to replace you. And I've got Layla sitting here right now. She's head of my social media marketing. And I tell her that too. You got to get so freaking good at what you're doing that I can't lose you. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she says, yeah, just in case you can't hear her. And this, why would I tell her that? Why would I tell her that? Why would I tell her to get so valuable? Why? Because I want her to become valuable. She is valuable and I need to hold her. Otherwise, what's the point? I'll just get rid of everybody, right? And just replace people week in, week out. You can't do that. I was listening to a podcast by 𝐷𝐿𝐉𝐻𝐼, and he was talking about, he sold one of his businesses. And he said, we had a boardroom, right? With a big, massive boardroom. I had my team on one side and the person who was buying my business was on the other side. They had their team. And he said, listen, my team was sharp, but the people on the other side of the table, their team was on the next level, right? He said, look, no wonder they're going to be making billions in a year. So do you have that dream team that you would go to war with? Or do you have a team made of average people with average skills, with an average attitude? Think about that. It's worth thinking about, right? Most people are so afraid to look for top talent because of how much it's going to cost to get real top talent. It's the cost of not getting that talent. That's a real cost, a loss of opportunity, growth. Imagine you can have this person here. Let's just say this person's name's Mark. Mark is a killer salesperson, right? Mark is wicked with sales systems, processes, training, teams, conversions, metrics. He does the whole thing. Now, Mark here, he wants 150,000 just to start working, right? 150 grand, that's his salary for the year. And on the other hand, let's say you got Emma over here. Emma, she's coming in at 45,000, low maintenance, no real experience, right? No real track record. Mark over there has got a killer track record. He's closed millions of bucks. So you're looking at Emma over here. You know what? I can't really afford Mark because he's 3 times as expensive. So let me just go for Emma over here. Let me just bring her in. We'll just get by. Imagine if you made that sacrifice and you got Mark in over here. He's a rock star in sales. He knows how to build a team. He knows how to bring customers. He knows how to convert. He knows how to self-generate leads. Imagine if you said, right, Emma is actually a liability because I'm going to be spending all this money on marketing. She doesn't really know what to do with it. So we're going to be burning a lot of capital in the ad spend. On the other hand, we've got ad spend. Right now, imagine if you got Mark over here, the superstar, the rock star, the genius. He knows how to turn that traffic into customers versus Emma over here. She doesn't do anything, right? She just sits there, answers the phone and just has a poor attitude, which is worth paying more for. Would you make that sacrifice and actually invest in Mark? I would, because proven track record. He knows what he's doing, right? He's a leader. This is what a lot of people won't do in their business. I want you to think about your most valuable employee, all right? Now, imagine that, right? If you lost that person, would you really miss them? Do they bring a lot of value to your business? Do they bring profitability, cash flow? Do they generate income? Imagine if you replace that top person right now. Maybe it's your top marketing person, top salesperson, whatever you do, right? If you replace that person with somebody at a much more experienced level, much more high level, imagine how much that can multiply your business. Don't look at the cost of hiring a certain person. Look at the cost of not having that person on your team. Imagine if a competitor took Mark over, right? And you had the option to take Mark, all right? And you said, I'm going to go over here with Emma. You can have Mark. Next minute, Mark is rocking the scene. All your clients, prospects that are supposed to be coming to you, they're in another pipeline. They're in somebody else's business. You ring them up. Hey, listen, are you ready to, you know what? I decided to go with such and such. Because that person knew how to sell the product and you lose out. Happens all the time. There's a phrase, but you pay peanuts, you get monkeys, right? You pay peanuts and you get monkeys. So true. I always want to find a way to hire top talent. I want to have good people around me. I'm studying lots of wealthy people right now. Even Elon Musk, I was watching a snippet of him and he was talking about having a real dream team, an A-game team, having them with you. You got to have good people around you. A good friend of mine, he runs a really successful business, right? I said to him, Albert, what's the secret behind your success? This is about 5 or 6 years ago. And he said, you know what, teams. I was actually speaking to him a couple of weeks ago. He said, teams, have good people around you. And that's when I start to look at teams. I start to look at individuals, not just the job title, but the skills they come with, what they bring to the party. Would you take your team to war with you? Build a dream team. Imagine that as a unit, right? You've got this unit of a team. Everybody is super strong in their areas. Everybody's so confident. Everybody's switched on. Everybody's an action taker, an aggressive action taker, and resilience. Imagine that level of resilience. Imagine you've got a dream team like that. Not just one person. You might have one person like that in your organization. That might be you. On the other hand, it might not even be you. You might not be the one. You might have someone who's got more drive than you. You should have more drive than anybody in your business, right? Because otherwise, guess what? You're going to be driven out of business. Fact. So think about this, right? Building a dream team around you of A players. What does that look like? If you make a list of all of the people that you have in your team right now, in your business, on your payroll, how much revenue is each person bringing you? What's their skill sets like? If that person left, would it impact your sales? Would it impact your bottom line? If it would, then you know you got key players with you. All right. Otherwise, got a lot of dead wood. I'm always up for firing people, right? We spend hiring people, we spend training people, and if you do all that and they're still no good, you got to get rid of them, right? So invest in good people, pay a little bit more, get some top talent in. This is my little bit of advice for you today. Take it, and I promise you, it'll make a world of a difference. There's some things that you just can't do, that you're not good at. You don't have the skill set, and some of your team don't have the skill set. Find people that have the ability, the skill sets, and the commitment, right? So go do that right now. So I'll see you on the next one.